Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless, casual gaming.
Hello, you're listening to Thoughtless Casual Gaming with Brett and Jace. We are a Geelong-based gaming podcast where we do some paint events and then talk about them 20 months after the fact.
I was about to say about 3 dozen light years from here.
Oh, dear.
Wait, a light year is a measure of distance, not time, isn't it?
Yes.
It's misleading. Anyway, physics was never a thing.
That's all right. What's the Star Wars one? Parsecs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Anyway, this episode of Thoughtless Casual Gaming is brought to you by Manscaped. Is your downstairs looking like a Yeti? If so, go to Manscaped, enter the code ThoughtlessBalls, and get 120% off your order. This is not a paid promotion.
Discount me, not be on it.
Discount me will not be on it. Every single podcast I listen to seems to have ads like that, so I thought we'd throw one in.
I mean, we haven't spoken to any sponsors. We haven't been... But I dig it. And we should talk to somebody about sponsoring an episode.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That involves talking to somebody, and I don't know if I'd put that much thought into it.
I mean, I feel like that would also involve people talking to us, and I wouldn't wish that on a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not good. Anyway, we did a paint event. Now, this is going back a few months, so I have apologized in the last couple of episodes about the delay in this. I'm going to apologize again, but there was a little bit of a hiatus for various different reasons. But we did a paint event over June and July. God, that's ages.
Yeah, let's not reflect on that too much.
Okay, scrap that.
To be fair though, the actual reward for entering the paint event was having a thing painted by the end of it. So it was very much a self-reward. It's self-flagellation, really. It's what we caused here. So anything else is kind of just icing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all up to you guys. We're not your fathers.
Also, we are disappointed in you, though. I assume that everyone has rewarded themselves frequently between then and now, and now they just want to hear.
In all ways, shapes, and forms. Anyway, so we did a paint event. It was very, very simple. We called it Paint a Thing. Paint one thing. And the rules were paint one thing.
Fuck, it doesn't get simpler.
No.
And
no caveats, no predetermined colours, nothing like that.
What was terrifying is in that simplicity, we had to clarify. I think it is actually the first event that we've done FAQs for.
I think it might be, actually. First non-Blood Bowl event.
Yeah.
Paint one thing. One thing is one model, not one squad or one army or one moose. I don't know.
No, one moose would have counted. That would have been one thing. But one herd of moose. Well, I don't know what the collective noun for mooses are. Mooses? Mises? Mooses?
Moose.
Either way, one moose, acceptable. Two moose, no. 3 moose, totally out.
5 moose, way out of the question. Paint one thing. Simple. Get a model done, put a picture in of it unpainted, and then post a picture of it painted, either in the Facebook event or in the Discord. Ironically enough, every single person put it in the Discord.
Is that I'm not going to question it. Alanis Morissette didn't know. I don't know.
Well,
Discord was good. It makes it vaguely easier for us to monitor, so that was handy.
Discord is a lot easier, and Facebook is. I think this is proof that Facebook is falling off the face of the planet. Really, Twitter's dying, and now it's not even Twitter anymore, is it?
No,
the platform formerly known as Twitter is dying.
I feel
Facebook is dying a slow death.
Yeah, Twitter's dying though because people have to read. Literacy isn't a thing anymore. Anyway,
we just asked for pictures, not words, pictures.
See how easy this was.
Yes. So we had a number of entries, a plethora of entries, and majority of those entries submitted something finalized as well, which is
there was
even
a lot.
better. But we'll talk about each and every entry in a bit more depth. I wanted to give a sort of, kudos, points for trying to a couple of people who submitted unpainted pictures and then nothing. So we didn't see finalized versions.
That is 50% of what we asked people to do.
I mean, that's a solid pass.
I was about to say P's get degrees, right?
Yes.
So
congratulations on your P's to Kingsley, Anthony, Archie, and Joel. Kingsley submitted some sort of worm thing.
Giant Junie looking. Yeah.
I'm interested to see how this one turns out because there were a couple of progress pics that he put in, and the folds were looking rather gruesome, let's say.
It was definite rag on a stick material.
Definite rag on a stick. Anthony submitted it's a vampire. I'm pretty sure it's the vampire from Warhammer Plus, whatever the subscription thing is. The free model from that.
That's where it's from.
Yep. Archie submitted a Ghostbuster. And I'd be very interested to see what that looks like.
There's every chance that he's actually painted that and just forgot to take pictures or post them.
Absolutely. I'd say he's probably done all 4 Ghostbusters. And then Joel submitted a Space Marine, but unfortunately all 4 of them did not submit finished entries. If they did finish them, if you have finished them, guys, please post them in the Discord because we'd love to see what they turned out to be. After that, we had a couple of people who, we didn't set many rules for this, but we said, this is it, choose one thing. We had a couple of people who chose one thing and then did not do that thing and chose another thing.
Choice is hard. We make a lot of them every day. This is not the age of commitment.
I mean, God knows it took me a good couple of weeks to choose a Blood Bowl team for Cheeky V, so I know how hard making a decision is. First of all, I want to talk about Joel. Now, Joel had a lion-looking creature as his pledge. It looked to be some sort of lion captain or swordsman or something like that. I'm not scrolling back to find a picture. I did that in my prep work. But what he submitted in the end was one of his Blood Bowl sheep. This is from Cult of the Lamb, the game, and he has submitted a finished sheep with 4 eyes and 4 horns, and it's a gorgeous model. Like, this whole team looks fantastic.
I was very confused because I'm relatively sure you said Joel, but you meant Josh.
Josh, my apologies. Yep.
And that's why I've been looking at you blankly for the last little bit going, huh? But yes.
There's no difference to that normally. You normally look at me blankly.
I know, but I feel like it was extra blank.
It's been a week.
It is.
Apologies, Josh.
No, it's fine. He's not listening. Yes. Such a cool. Now, this, funnily enough, when this team got released, I'm pretty sure it was a Punga release. They got so much hate. And I
Did
thought
they?
it was, yeah, they kind of dropped it out of the blue. Yeah, they'd been doing sort of Blood Bowl teams and stuff, and people had Patreons and followers and everything, and then they dropped the Cult of the Lamb team, and everyone went, "This isn't Blood Bowl," and the internet exploded. It was just so divisive. But Josh has got these models; they are adorable, and he's done such an awesome job on that team. But he was like, "This is the one that I actually did in the span of the competition."
And it's just beautiful, like the line work and the shadows and stuff that he's got going on this. There's different shades of grey for the skin. The whole thing looks very cute.
He did a really clever trick of the whole model. When he started, he sprayed them all or base coated them all like this dark winey red, and that was his shadow color for literally everything. And then he's just kind of not gone over the deepest recesses when he's done his next layer. So it's got this consistent kind of winey red, dark maroony color throughout everything, and it just gives them this nice little, like, really consistent but slightly menacing vibe to it. I really dig it.
I really like it. I mean, I played against these ones this season, and they were menacing on the pitch.
And they're adorable.
They're so cute. Yeah. It's such a cool looking model, and he has really done an amazing job. There's highlights on the eyes and the skin, anything you can possibly look at, really. It looks cool. Awesome. Good work with that, Josh / Joel. The second person who submitted one thing and then changed their mind was Alice. Now, Alice originally submitted the Glotkin, the big ass Nurgle model, which usually has a normal sized Nurgle model riding it. She is still working on that, I know.
Yeah.
In typical Alice fashion, trying to get it looking perfect. It does look incredible. And I would love for her to post some update shots of how far she's gotten, because the Glotkin, I mean, it has tufts of grass all over it. It's basically a Nurgle ent at this stage.
I saw some progress pics at one stage, and it was looking incredible. Yeah, I really keen to see more of those ones.
Yeah, definitely.
She is a sole reason to take out some kind of, shares in any tuft making company, though. I will say.
Any colour under the rainbow and she'll buy it. What she did submit, though, was the halfling for the Why So Serious 3 team that we auctioned up, which was the community painted team. And she's done this cute little halfling running along the pitch in his blue and pink uniform. Did we actually decide that was the colour of the models, or did everyone just kind of do it that way?
People were really pushing for some kind of consistent theme, so I made that up and went, there you go, here's an example. It kind of was a Beyond Blue logo play. But she's gone full quarters, so she's gone like the one half of the helmet, then the opposite half of the little chest plate, and then the opposite part of the legs, and then one shoe's pink and one shoe's blue. Like, she's gone like she's on an itty bitty little model.
He's a very colourful little halfling. And he looks serious. He's got those glasses on, the fist raised. He looks menacing for a halfling. You just know he's going to get stepped on at like first turn.
Thrown at something.
Yes. Yeah. But he is gorgeous. And he was just such a nice addition for that team, which, got raffled off.
Yeah, I love it. And it was another one of those pieces that was absolutely Alice painted.
Yes.
Like, it was the same. It's like that whole team was cool because every model was painted by somebody different, and there was a consistent theme, but there was differences. And this still has that kind of Alice painterly kind of approach there, which she's got. And I'm not entirely sure how to explain it, but it is this piece around I don't have to blend everything in, and that's kind of cool. That is kind of the feature. And I really dig. I think it is just such a brave way to paint in a world where everybody is trying to copy GW.
Yep. Alice definitely has, and has always had her own distinct style. And this screams Alice. So awesome work there. Keep working on that clock, and she's doing so well with it. I really want to see that finished. The last one that I want to talk about before we get into ones that actually finished and followed the guidelines is Brad. Now, Brad submitted a skeleton as his one thing, and he did not finish in time, but he has posted since finished photos, and it is incredible. It's simple colors. You've got the red cloak and the metal armor and the gold shield, but it just the way the model looks and all sort of it all works. It's simple, but it's so well painted. The highlights are there. I really like as well with the base, the grass tufts are sort of they're not all the way to the edge.
Yep. Yeah, and I think there's some commentary there around. This is the first model he'd painted in like 25 years.
Jeez.
So I think part of that was actually going, fuck, how do I do this? I've got some muscle memory from a long, long time ago. But it's hard to get back on that horse. It's hard to go, shit, I have expectations of myself, what I used to be able to, and expectations that I see. It is the danger of social media, I think. You see all the stuff that people do.
Is this the hobby equivalent to, models, young girls looking at models?
Yeah, exactly that. And it's less fun for me. But no, I think it is that piece. And it's also that finding time for a hobby again after however long as well. But you look at, step one, and he's kind of done the whole black undercoat dry brush piece to give him a base coat to work off at Glorious. And then it was kind of out of the blue, this post to say, I managed to get it done. And it's like, holy shit, this is the first model in 25 years. Fuck off.
It's got highlights. It's better than models that I do now.
And he was still there going, I could clean up some stuff and I'll do better next time. I think I've learned some stuff. I'm like, let us not take away that this is an absolutely incredible result before we say it's the first model you've painted in a fucking lifetime. So yeah, absolutely bonkers.
Just like everything, the color scheme is very, very simple, but works so well. You got the bone contrasting against the bright red of the tattered clothes with the gold armor behind and the very grey armor in front.
Yeah,
is that grey or is that metal with grey highlights?
I'm gonna have to go find the updated picture. I'm gonna have to find where the fuck to go. I'll find it in a second.
Either way, it looks right. It looks accurate. It looks like old armor that a skeleton would be wearing.
Yeah, and look, I think I really enjoyed it as a choice of model, because I think what Games Workshop are doing now, so it's one of sort of the new-ish Games Workshop skeletons. I'm not sure exactly what the name of the fucking, they will have changed it. They're not allowed to call skeletons now. They're called, skeletons or something.
Oh, good Lord.
But I don't fucking know. But they do a really good job of giving you this crisp, balance between kind of flat surface with a little bit of texture, but some nice heavy texture to lean into. Even things like the cape folds and everything aren't like really subtle. They've got some really defined shapes in there, so it picks up paint really well. It picks up shades and contrasts and stuff really, really well. So I think they are an excellent choice for people to diving back into the hobby to do, just because they are easy is the wrong word, but they're kind of intuitive to paint, and they kind of hang on to the right. The paint seems to go to the right spot really, really well.
Plus, there's not an awful lot of fiddly details that would confuse somebody like me and end up painting some one way and some another. It's armor, it's a cloak, it's the chainmail, it's the weapon, it's the shield, it's the skeleton, and that's it.
But even then, I've painted some models where the detail is really, really fine and really kind of hard to catch, whereas I feel like Games Workshop have found this really good balance between it's a fine detail of the model, but it's kind of sculpted heavy enough, or that it's sort of hunting for where does this line go. It's really, really clear definitions, which I think is a wonderful thing to get back into. You don't kind of have to guess.
Yeah. Especially for, getting back into the hobby and stuff. That models like these are the best ones to play around with, because, you can muck around and do some colours and see if it works. And if it works, it works. You're going to see whether what you're trying is working pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But whatever Brad has tried here has worked incredibly well.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how he's done it, but he's it's absolutely cracking. And he's been playing a bunch more games, he's been a bunch more stuff, so I'm really keen to see what comes next.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it up, mate. Keep it up. That is awesome. All right, so getting into the final entries. The first one up, so the first one that was submitted is by Discord member Bindi.
Adam, yes.
And was a tiny little dwarf on the old square GW base.
Yeah, Adam's been playing Warhammer for a while. As that way. And I'm not sure if this is one of the Battle for Skull Pass, kind of the single pose little dwarf warriors, but he's clearly just, and I know he had a bunch of time away from the hobby doing sort of, uni and work and life things and all that stuff. So I think this was just, again, a chance to get just back in, dust off some hobby, get the paintbrush going again, and glorious.
It's almost like an old sort of Hero Quest character. Simple dwarf, simple pose. You can very much see this in the old GW plastic range of, what colour were they? They were white plastic.
It was really pale grey, or it was this real kind of, but all right, that, I remember cracking that box and everything kind of just was one piece.
Yep.
You clipped it off, you stuck it to a base, you were done. The entire unit had the same pose.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, and that was the hobby. Like these were, at the time, these were kind of the new thing, the new quality, new standard in models, right?
Yep.
It's like, fuck, how far have we come?
I remember those days. I don't miss them. I do like the models that come these days. I like how the whole symmetry between units.
Yeah,
I get it, but I like having them slightly different. Yeah,
I mean, I think I still get some nostalgias for some of the old models.
You're an old Warhammer fan.
I am,
player, though. So.
And yeah, it speaks to me in all the right ways. And there was just this certain charm. I remember, this reminds me of kind of the first unit I got of like High Elf Spearmen. And again, the single pose plastic, they were all in the same pose, but there was this real kind of simplicity about it I kind of dug. And back to sort of this one. So it's one of those models, and it could be one of, 30 and a unit, but it's just that piece around right things in the right places, right? It's the little bits. It's the fact that the horns have got that little bit of shading so they look a little bit bonier. They've got
The axe handle has the highlights.
The wood grain you can kind of make out in it. The gold little emblem on the helmet that 99% of people would have just painted that whole fucking thing silver and be done with it.
Yep.
And fair. So,
I mean, the model itself, paint-wise, is just fantastic. The green tunic that he's wearing just stands out from, he's got like this light brown, almost blondie beard, the brown in the axe, the brown on the shoes, the green on the arms and the sleeves, just give it a little bit of a pop right in the middle of the model.
Such a good call when you've got a model that is metal, wood, leather, and skin. Like, there ain't a lot of variation there. In greys and silvers and browns of some description. So just to go, here's a color. And it gives you can imagine a unit of those dudes all with a very similar green, and it just gives this level of uniformity and cohesion and all of those things that make him look like it's not just one dwarf. This is one of a bloody clan of the little dudes coming to whack you on the noggin or the kneecaps. They're only little.
And it's the choice of green too, which does it for me, because it's not goblin green. It's a jade, almost sort of gemmy type green.
It's not the base. Why would you do a goblin green? That's silly.
I know, but it's very much a dwarf color. It's got that sort of gemstone-ish green.
It is.
That sort of reeks.
It's not a cheap shirt he's wearing.
No,
it is. Yeah. It is. So, like, there's a little polo collar under that. You can't see it, but definitely. No, I dig it. And I think, this is one of those cases where it's literally a case, if we said paint a thing, just dust something off and paint something. It doesn't have to take you forever, but just get something done. And I think this was the prime opportunity where Adam went, what have I got laying around that I can commit to? I can get this done, and it does just get me a little bit of time back in the hobby doing a thing. Like, it is literally the purpose of this exercise.
He's followed it to a T, and I love this paint job. I love this model. I love the fact that he, obviously supports the Jace style of basing as well. But it's so. You can't not bring it up. Any opportunity to give you shit, mate. I just love this. This is an awesome piece, and you're right. It brings back all the nostalgia, but it's just painted in all the right colors,
all the right things in all the right places. Yeah.
It's simple color scheme, simple model, which gives a fantastic end result.
Nailed it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. After Bindi, we had Chad. Now, Chad originally submitted a Deathwatch squad, but he has chosen a model out of said squad.
Half of that Discord channel is him trying to come up with a clever name.
It's the smart ass jokes, isn't it?
It is. That is his contribution to the world. Ben Affleck, Carl Urban, Space Cop. That's right.
Batfleck type thing. So yeah, it's very much a Space Cop, isn't it? He's got a nice big baton that he's probably got some sort of power weapon thing built in, so it electrifies people when he hits them. He's got the big ass riot shield. It is very much a space cop.
And very, like, it's got that Roman legionary type important man thing on his hat.
Mhm.
Like, it is the 40K equivalent of a target.
It is.
Like, this person looks important. How do you know? They've got a big helmet.
A big helmet with a giant gold bird on top with, the plumage feathers. What do they call that? The old Roman feathers.
Crests? I don't know.
I don't know. You can see this. You can definitely see someone like Wesley Snipes playing this guy in a movie, right? Time cop. But ignoring the model itself, let's get to the painting. He's gone white and blue, like a dark blue. Chad is a good painter.
Has done this before.
He has danced this dance before. The white is very white. It is a crisp ass white.
Which is so fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
White can suck it.
I'm going to assume that those are transfers on the white parts as well.
I choose to also assume that.
Yes, because if they're not, then he has got way too much skill. But the blue, that sort of dark blue contrasts with the white. You've got the highlights, and it's not a crisp, clean highlight. It's messy. Like, this guy's armor has been in some battles. It's scuffed and, beaten up to a degree.
It's like he polished his uniform, but his uniform's been through something, eh?
Yes.
I also really dig, like, there's stuff like even the shield, and I think it's detail. I think the shield's got like a little screen on the top so we can kind of look through it. But just the variation in the colours between the bottom half of like the armoury bit, which is this dark kind of, Prussian desaturated blue, and that screen, which is still blue, but it is so distinctly different because it's clearly supposed to be a different material. There's a blue light right next to it because he's a cop, right? So it's got a blue light and a red light. But the blue light is a different blue to the blue of the glass that he can look through, which is different to the blue of the shield. And to have three elements of a very similar colour that close to each other and be clearly separate, again, stop being clever.
I've just got that song stuck in my head now.
Which one?
You mentioned the word blue too many times.
Yeah, it's a blue house, blue window.
The blue Corvette. I also like the red on the visor. And the visor's sort of like an old style knight visor that they'd lower down. But the red, and then having that little bit of extra colour on top of the blues, doesn't take anything away from it and doesn't distract too much, but it's just that one extra colour. The blues and it's almost sort of like a dark blue on his gloves and his sleeves and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you got the browns of the straps and the belts. And
I also think the really clever move to do like that kind of ready Martian earth brown as the base, because again, this model is blue. So just to throw something that is very different really makes him stand out. So again, just clever decisions.
Yes.
And really fucking crisp white.
Yeah.
Which is such a prick. And it's not like it's a grey. It's not like he's tried to do, it is fucking white.
Yeah, it is bright white.
Like he polished that shit. Like it's been through some stuff, but that's been cleaned. Like he has gone through the pressure washer.
He's fond of those transfers and he's polished that bit. The rest of the armour, not so much.
Yeah.
Polished it, but maybe polished it with some steel wool. And, look, I really like it. You're bang on. It's smart decisions, which is something we would not say about Chad every day.
I mean, it's not life; it's painting.
But
Yeah,
he's way too good at this painting behind the things.
well played.
Yes. Well done, mate. Next up, we have Dan. Now, Dan decided to paint the Minotaur referee that we gave away in Why So Serious 2. So
He's painted the correct thing.
Yes,
what he's
going
done.
for kudos there. Dan has won a painting event before, and quite rightly so. Dan knows how to paint. And this Minotaur is nothing but that. There is, layers upon layers of paint on this thing. Everything seems to be highlighted. He's got TCG on the little cap that he's wearing. He's got, fouls. He's got, he's put Discord users under the foul there. I don't know if you can see that. It's Moose, Alice, and Uria, from what I can see.
Cheeky bastard.
Little Easter eggs there. Love it.
Bloody has too. You cheeky bastard. But, I mean, and so stuff in here, like, yes, he's done the little TCG on the brim of the cap. Impressive enough. He's done it in white. Doubly impressive. I'm relatively sure it is also like outlined. So he's done it in black and then he's done the white over the black to give you a really tight outline on it. Like, stop showing off. The little wristband he's got, not only has he just painted that with different colors for like the different bandings in it and stuff like that, but he's done the actual little like triangle pattern across it in a black and white ref style check. He's free-handed all of the stripes on the actual jacket.
Yep.
On the ref shirt.
They are not on there because I know full well what that model is, and I know that I painted mine completely white, and then I drew on the black lines with a texter because I was not going to even attempt that.
The bloody thing has eyes, and they are so far hidden under the brim of that cap. Like, fuck that. He is a show-off. In all of the right ways. It is just, there is so much detail in this thing. Interestingly, he went a yellow card, not a red card.
I was thinking that too. It's something different, and I think the yellow makes it stand out more with the colours that he's used. So red card would sort of blend. He's got the red on the bit, the cloth, and the pink on the legs, on the pants near the card. So red potentially is not going to be as noticeable as that yellow card is, and it's thinking out the side of the box. Every man and his dog is going to go red card on that, but not Dan.
No, I will say I'm almost surprised he didn't go double show off and do a double-sided card that was yellow on one side, red on the other.
That would be a Dan thing to do, wouldn't it?
I feel like it's not a capability, it's just he didn't think of it. And now he's going to go back and have to paint a red side on the underside of that card.
Yep. I like the base too. Now I'm guessing it looks a bit raised, so I'm guessing, I know Dan has a lot of these sort of green stuff tools.
And I reckon he has just kind of, green stuff textured this to give it a little bit of a detail on it. And it's such a clever piece that it's textured but not. Like, it's not like it's sand or anything like that. It's just got a little bit of movement to it. It is not mud. It's not dirt. It's not concrete. I'm not sure what it is, but it feels like something you would play Blood Bowl on.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it wouldn't be pleasant to fall on. And then the line that he's done through it, like the field marking.
That is exceptional. It's not a solid line. It is that. This is a pitch that has been played on and worn out.
There's like footprints in the bastard thing. It's been scuffed off. Like, he's done such a good job to make that look like it was painted onto an uneven surface and then walked all over.
Yeah. Dan constantly turns out amazing pieces, and he just keeps going too. He's been posting a couple recently.
And I think this fits irony, is because when he posted that answer, he's like, oh, now I don't have to paint anything till the next comp, right? And then he is probably the most prevalent Discord user pumping out hobby stuff.
Yes. And such a variety of stuff that he does too. You know, there'll be a Marvel United character in there, and then there'll be, you know, some Cthulhu type thing, and then there'll be something else. It's like,
yeah, it's a Kingdom Death, and then a Moonstone, and then yeah.
I mean, I love this model. I love that it's our model. I love that he's painted it up as our model. And I love that Dan has painted it, because, you know, Dan is one of those painters who I have admired his work for quite some time. You know, I conned him into painting one of my Underworld's teams quite some time ago because I wanted something that had been painted by him. Even the different shades on the inside of the hands.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly seeing different things on this every time I look at it. The horn has about 4 different colours.
I really get the sense with Dan, again, every time I see him paint something, is that it feels like he's really enjoying the process of painting. Like, it is not and when I say process, it's not a process. It's not a step by step. I do this and then I do this and then I do this. It is this real back and forward, mix this, put that here, try this kind of organic thing that comes together. It feels like he is not just paint by numbers by any stretch of the imagination. It is the opposite of that. And it just feels like every time I look at something, but every time I see him paint something, you can almost feel how much he has enjoyed the process of doing the painting. Like, it is the activity that he enjoys, and that comes through.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time. Awesome work, Dan. I expect no less from you, though. Next up, we have Pip. Now, Pip has entered his one thing as a squad of Imperial Knights, Emperor's Knights.
They are Empire Knights, I'm relatively sure. They are War Master.
They look small.
They are 15 mil, whatever that means. Reichsguard.
My wife could tell you. They are horsemen, and I mean, they are a very unified unit.
So you've got
colours that are flowing all through this unit.
Yeah, and they're bloody tiny, I think. And, you know, the other thing that is really challenging with these is they come in these like little strips. So you've actually got to paint. It's basically 2 guys stuck together in these cases. Okay. So, and in the horses, generally it's one guy behind another guy. Mm-hmm. So actually getting into some of those, it's a bit of a pain in the ass.
God, I know with that sort of stuff, even with normal models, if it's too hard to get my paintbrush in, then that's staying black, whatever the color is. These look incredible. Like, these look like amazing standard size models, let alone the fact that they're tiny. And, you know, 15 mil, that's what, half the size of a normal model.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got your standard bearer in the middle with this sort of really nice white banner with, you know, the wreath and the yellow skull and the red cross on top of that.
There's a hero hanging out in front of him waving a big old gold hammer.
The red crosses and the yellow skulls, that sort of stuff is strewn throughout this.
And then again, white as a colour is just a brave choice. And this isn't it's not a super crisp, like it's clearly got a shade or anything on it, but I think you need to at this scale. Like you kind of have to up the shadows and up the highlights and do everything. And I think what Pib is doing really well at the moment is he's kind of nailed a style for this, smaller scale that lends into the fact that they're smaller, so you have to kind of increase any value changes or any contrast and things like that, because you're looking at something half the size of a regular model across the table. And we'll talk about not looking at a model like a gaming model. You don't pick them up, you're not looking at them a couple of centimeters from your nose, but this is next level. They're itty bitty, and so you need to really push the colors, the vibrancy, the contrast, all of that stuff to make them stand out. And he's just got that down to a T now.
Absolutely. Like I'm just looking at the horses and the horses' armor and stuff like that. That's textured.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he's done that. Whether it's just sort of a dry brush effect or something like that, but the hammer's the same thing, the feathers are the same thing. Everything's got this. Everything looks realistic. None of it looks flat.
No, it's this really clever way of painting where, like, I feel like you can't. Oh, you could, but no one is reasonably painting this the same way that you would paint a 28-30 model. But it doesn't look like he's taken any shortcuts by any stretch of the imagination. It looks like he's had the same thoughts around highlights and shading and light and all this kind of stuff, but teeny.
Very, very cool. The whole squad is a squad, and it looks well together. Every unit looks different, but at the same time, they are so together as a team. One squad. Not one thing, but one squad.
I was going to say, let's be really clear. I think we had this conversation right at the start. That is, depending on how we'll cut this up, this is at least 3 things. Probably 6 things. Maybe 12 things. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you've got 3 bases. Each base has 4 horses on it.
And 2 of those horses are joined together. Oh, look, if he had have just circled one base and went, look at this one, I probably would have given it to him. Alas, he did not.
Awesome work, though, anyway.
I'm
guessing, have you played Warmaster?
Not for a while. I am very much overdue.
So, do you know roughly what, these 3 bases of 12 horses?
Mm-hmm.
That is a portion of an army, isn't it?
Yeah. That's one unit, effectively.
How many units would you have in a normal game?
Several.
Rough idea.
Oh shit! You put me on the spot. But that might be. So that might be, and I'm guessing here, maybe 150 points of a 2,000 point army.
Yep. All right. So a normal game would have many, many models. And if they're all done to this caliber, that's going to be an impressive, tiny-looking thing.
Yeah, he has done that a couple of times over. There's a lot of very impressive teeny tiny dudes.
Yep. Good work, Pip. All right, next up, we have Lewis. Now, Lewis originally submitted his Blood Bowl team, but had then gone to say that the Crocs or Crocs adjacent model was his one thing. This team, tell me about this team. Is this a 3D printed team?
I believe it is.
Who does it?
Oh, yes. Can I think of it right this second? No, I can't. It's this kind of redneck alligator lizardman team, which I really dig. And he's been playing with it this season, and the whole team looks bonkers good.
This model it's an alligator. It's like a southern American alligator with the clothes and the little tiny hat to match and the 10,000 chins. He's got the belt buckle. He's got the what do they call that? I did know what they were called. That thing around the neck with the two strips.
The thing around, oh yeah, but like that Texas tie kind of deal.
Yeah,
A little,
yeah. Well, there is a name for those. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, but the stupid shoestring tie thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know what they are, but like this thing has sexual relations with its cousin. Like you
Yes.
know this, and
all of its cousins.
yeah.
Probably been to a P Diddy concert or something. He's got the cigar. He's got the spurs on the tail, isn't it?
Yes,
which is just classic. The model itself it's definitely, I'm not going to say unique, but it's definitely a choice.
I love it.
Some people are going to love this model. Some people are going to absolutely hate it. It's a character. It's got so much character in it, whether you like that character or not.
Oh, look, he's not a likable character, but he's fun. And look, getting away from the one thing really quickly, like that whole team is super cool. And like he's got AC/DC singlets painted onto them, and he's gone the whole hog with them. Whole hog. It seems appropriate, but yeah, it's his cool kind of swamp gator. Like you can hear the accent looking at this thing, and I dig it. And then you get to, but you can hear the banjo, but you get to the painting bit of it, and again, he's just very good.
There was a time, Jace. There was a time, and it feels to me like it was a long, long time ago. But there was a time when our Discord was maybe a quarter of what it is now.
Yes.
And I didn't get so disheartened by seeing all these amazing artists putting their hobby pictures in there. Lewis, like Chad, like he's one of the newer members of the Discord. Not newest, but he's been with us 2 seasons of Blood Bowl now. But by God, can he paint? It makes me sad. Where's my talent? What am I good at? I'm not good at this. That's for sure.
Oh, it's Calivert. Okay, there we go. I was just trying to work out who actually produced the models, and it's Calivert 3D. So yes, they're an excellent team, and I've just had to bring them up to have a good look. And there's mullets and there's hats. And
I'm sure, like everything's very bogany, isn't it?
It is.
I would say.
There's a guy playing a banjo. There's a little lizard playing a banjo. Like it's
They'd have to be.
It's all of the right things. Anyway, why we're here.
Lewis's paint jobs on anything I see him paint is awesome. This is no exception to that. Like there are, the skin of the alligator. You've got the it's sort of like an oily green.
Yeah, he's greasy.
Yeah,
it's impressive, and it's not just a green. Like there is clearly this highlighted piece. There is this shaded piece. The green changes, like it goes a little bit brown, it goes a little bit pale, depending on where it is on the body. It's very well done. The underbelly, like is 14 different chins. Yep. Again, all of that. It looks kind of sweaty and fleshy and probably unclean.
The way he's done the highlights on all of this, I mean, for one thing, that green is very sickly looking. Like, this Crocs is wandering around and bashing people, and yelling at his daughter/wife, but he doesn't take care of his skin. He's just, he's just who he is. And the way that he's painted it, and the way that those highlights or those different colours that he's done, especially on the chins, it gives it texture, but it also, you're right, it gives it that really, unclean.
It definitely tells the story about his personal hygiene habits.
Yep.
I also really dig just the texture across things like the denim jacket and the jeans and the leather belt and stuff. Like, it's got this really worn kind of vibe where he's spent some time making sure that it's not smooth, because it shouldn't be. It should be beat up to high hell. This is not clothing that is being looked after.
Along those lines, though, those boots look very crisp. And, you just know that wherever this guy is in the world, his boots are his pride and joy. His cowboy boots are polished and clean. Like, to me, they look.
He's having somebody spit polish them.
Yes.
Yeah. You can see him, rocking into the dugout and sticking the boot up on a stone, and some little lizard coming and spitting and rubbing it with a cloth. Yeah. But this is, I love this.
You might be able to see the remnants of last night's dinner still on his jeans, but his boots look good.
They are a shiny, well maintained. I really dig how much this model, again, it's the choice of sculpt, but then it is the choice of just really subtle color and paint choices that he's made that just lean into the story of this model. And again, it's just, you look at the team and you know exactly who they are and where they're from and what they're on about. And that they've got about 3 teeth between them, and he seems to have all of them, if I'm honest.
I love the size of the hat too, and the way that, again, the hat, it's not, probably to the same standards as boots, but the hat's got to be a pride and joy.
He ain't leaving without it.
No. The browns on this model are very, very nice. They're shaded. They look. Everything about this model looks right. Every color that he's done.
He's nailed denim too, which is one of those things that people sort of hit. It's too blue or it's too grey or it's a hard. But this is just, it looks like Levi 501s.
It does. It's almost. It's not quite a wife beater T-shirt underneath, but you could almost. I'm just clicking through the pictures here. Like, you could totally see a pack of smokes tucked into one of those T-shirt sleeves. Again, the base too. The base really suits the model. His choice of texture. It's this old sort of cracked. He's got a little tiny bit of grass on it, but it's mostly mud. This is the sort of pitch that these guys are playing on. It's not well looked after. In fact, it's almost probably mud wrestling on the off days. But everything about this model, everything that he's chosen works perfectly with the model itself.
I feel like he's done this before as well.
Yes. Yes, damn him. Why do these people have so much talent? Frustrates me, man. I love the cigar too. Look, this is just an awesome, awesome job, Lois. Again, we expect no less from you now. Every model we expect to be this sort of quality. But he's just... He tells a story.
Yeah.
And everything about this model tells the story, let alone the fact that the model looks the way it does. The colours tell the story as well.
Yeah, he's definitely made it. He's lent into that, and it's kind of, you kind of feel the excitement we had when he found the team. And he's like, you know what this needs? this is the coolest thing ever. And again, I feel like looking at it, you can feel that kind of enthusiasm for the theme that has just paid dividends.
Yeah. And he did well with this team too.
Oh.
Lost in the semi-finals to Nurgle, I believe. So, yeah. That's what a good painted team will do for you.
That is accurate.
Well done, Lewis. We are just about to hit the 1 hour mark. Shall we wrap it up there?
But we are not done.
I know. We have another 9 people to talk about.
That is so many things.
Yes. So, winners next episode. Next episode will not
They've
be...
already had enough suspense. Like, no more will hurt.
No, exactly.
We can't.
I promise that the next episode will be out within the next 5 months. So
Have we started making promises now?
I'm making this promise. We will know the winners of this competition by May next year. That is my promise to you.
And when you say that, we will know.
Yes.
Or the listeners will know, because that's an important distinction.
I'm not going to make that distinction on here.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you to all of those that entered. We will talk about the other 9 models next episode, and there are some cracking models in that as well. But yeah, let's wrap it up there.
Done.
Done and done. Thank you for listening, guys. Give us a follow. Facebook, Spotify, Podbean, Twitch, Twidbean,
Spotify.
Spot. I don't know what.
Bitch. YouFace.
YouTube.com/ I'm losing it. Yeah, dear. It's been a week. As always, thank you very much to our Patreons for helping us to run these sort of events and, 5 months later, hand out prizes for them. As always, thankless. I don't know where I was going there. Thank you to our Thoughtless. That's where I was going.
There you go.
5-second memory. Thank you very much to our Thoughtless Patreons, Alice, Archie, Clinton, Craig, Gertzie, Jared, Kingsley, and Yuri. Thank you, guys. And next episode soon.
Yes. Which is an undefined period of time.
Which is exactly how we like it. Later.
Catch up.
But that time's gone, you